until he saw that his ex-wife couldn't even pick up the sunglasses from the ground. Only then did the CEO realize in shock that the person who donated her cornea to him was his ex-wife who had heartlessly abandoned him. It turns out it happened just a few months earlier. The CEO was involved in a car accident that resulted in him losing his sight. The woman was also diagnosed with terminal cancer at the same time. Her life was limited to less than 1 short year. In order not to burden the CEO, she asked the CEO for a divorce. Upon hearing this, the CEO's face was filled with disbelief. They were so deeply in love. Yet the woman put on an air of snobbery. She stated that she was unwilling to spend her life with a blind man. Despite the CEO's desperate pleas to her, the woman resolutely abandoned him. But then, the woman immediately asked the doctor to donate her cornea, and she kept her identity a secret. She only hoped that the CEO would live well in her stead. Little did she know that the CEO's longtime first love, who had always adored him, found out about it. Although she did not understand why the woman would hide the truth, but she came up with a wicked idea. When the CEO regained his sight and wanted to reconcile with the woman, the first love pretended to have just undergone surgery and appeared before the CEO, leading the CEO to believe that it was the first love who had donated her cornea to him. However, when confronted with the first love's opportunistic declaration of affection, the CEO, unable to accept it, pushed her away. But then he helped her up again. He promised that after he returned home and settled matters with the woman, he would come back to take care of her. Soon after, when the CEO hurriedly returned home to confront the woman for answers, he was shocked to find that the woman had a new lover. Seeing this scene, the CEO was filled with anger. He stepped forward and punched the man. He demanded an explanation from the woman as to why she treated him this way. After all, his eyes were clearly fine now. Yet the woman coldly stated that she had long ceased to love him. In order to fully convince the CEO, the woman directly kissed the man in front of him. She mocked that the CEO was nothing more than a stepping stone in her career. Then she stated that they would go to finalize the divorce the next day. After speaking, the woman coldly left with the man, leaving the CEO behind, weeping inconsolably. Little did he know that the woman had not actually betrayed him. That man was merely the boyfriend of the woman's close friend. The reason the woman did this was to ensure that the CEO would agree to divorce her. The next day, the CEO arrived on time at the Civil Affairs Bureau for the divorce. However, he discovered that the woman had been wearing sunglasses the entire time. Even when signing, she did not fill in the required fields. She even bumped into the back of a chair when she got up. He immediately realized that something was amiss, so he silently followed the woman all the way. When the woman was crossing the street, she was nearly hit by an electric bicycle. Fortunately, the CEO caught her in time. He realized that her sunglasses had fallen to the ground. The woman quickly crouched down to search for them, but, like a blind person, she could not find them at all. Just as the CEO noticed that the woman seemed unable to see, the close friend appeared just in time to rescue her. At that moment, the feigning blind first love approached again. She theatrically pleaded with the woman not to divorce the CEO. The woman merely pushed her away. The CEO, infuriated, declared that the first love was now his benefactor. He urged the woman not to be so malicious. The woman was shocked when she heard that it was the first love who had donated her cornea to the CEO. The close friend intended to reveal the truth but was stopped by the woman. Because the CEO believed that the woman had betrayed him, he married the first love not long after. On their wedding night, the first love discovered that the CEO's phone had received a text message from the woman. It revealed that it was not the first love who had donated her cornea to him. The first love deleted the text message while the CEO was drunk. Thus, she kept the secret hidden completely. The next day, when the woman went for a medical checkup, she learned that she was 2 months pregnant. She did not inform the CEO promptly. Coincidentally, when the CEO went to the ophthalmology department for a follow-up with the first love, he saw a medical record lying on the doctor's desk, until he saw that the handwriting on the medical report was identical to that of his ex-wife. The CEO suspects that the person who had donated the cornea to him was not his first love, but his ex-wife. At that moment, the woman had already been rendered unconscious by his first love, who had hidden her in the bathroom. The CEO discovered that the woman who had been sitting in the waiting area had vanished, and he excitedly ordered his assistant to find her as soon as possible. Little did he know that the woman had been taken by his first love to an abandoned, desolate factory. The first love's purpose in doing so was to exact revenge on the woman, because on her wedding night, the woman had sent the CEO a text message attempting to reveal that the cornea donor was not the first love. Unfortunately, the CEO, being drunk at the time, had fallen asleep and failed to see the message, which was promptly deleted by the first love. In order to prevent this secret from being exposed, the first love decided to make the woman disappear from the world. The woman warned that murder was illegal and reminded her that she was carrying the CEO's child. Hearing this, the first love became even more enraged. Just as the first love picked up an iron rod from the ground, the woman took the opportunity to unlock her phone and call the CEO, only to have the phone fall to the ground and be discovered by the first love. Meanwhile, the CEO noticed that the call from the woman had suddenly gone silent, and he immediately ordered his assistant to trace the location of her phone signal. When they hurried to the abandoned warehouse, they only found the injured first love sitting on the ground, which greatly surprised the CEO. It turned out that after the first love had pushed the woman down, seeing the CEO arriving with his bodyguards, she had been forced to pick up an iron rod to feign injury. When the CEO asked her why she was there, she lied, claiming that she had just received an anonymous call to rescue the woman and was then attacked, and that she remembered nothing of what happened afterward. The CEO initially suspected that the woman had deliberately set a trap to lure the first love and then attack her, but on further thought, he concluded that the woman could not have done such a thing. Suddenly, he heard a knocking sound from below, and the first love immediately pretended to be frightened, saying that there might be rats in the warehouse. No matter what, she could not allow the CEO to know that the woman was present there, so she requested that the CEO send her to the hospital, leaving behind the barely conscious woman. The woman had thought that she would die there, but fortunately, her best friend and boyfriend arrived in time and rushed her to the hospital for emergency treatment, ultimately saving her from the brink of death. At the same time, the CEO, staring at the medical report, felt very uneasy, wanting to know whether the woman actually had cancer and had donated her cornea for him. It was not until the assistant told him that the medical report did not belong to the woman that the CEO was relieved. Apart from the woman, he was unwilling to get involved with any other woman, and even when his first love tried to have sex with him, he vehemently left the room. Suddenly, the woman called him to demand $300,000 because the money was needed to ensure the safe delivery of her baby. The CEO, however, not knowing the woman's true intentions and recalling her past betrayal, felt deep resentment and refused to transfer the money to her. The woman did not want her best friend to bear too much on her behalf, so she was determined to obtain the $300,000 from the CEO by any means. Thus, she had her best friend buy her a wig and then meticulously applied makeup before coming to the CEO's company. The CEO noticed that the woman, whom he had not seen for months, appeared even thinner, and she always wore sunglasses, which made him very curious. Desperate for the CEO to give her money, the woman knelt down in pleading. Seeing this, the CEO remembered the days when they once loved each other, and even though they were now divorced, he still often missed the woman, perhaps unable to forget her at all. Initially, the divorce had only been due to his anger over her betrayal, so he agreed to give the woman $300,000, but on the condition that she become his secret mistress. The woman was shocked that the CEO would even make such a demand, and she immediately turned to leave, only to be pulled into his arms in a tight embrace. The CEO finally admitted defeat to the woman, confessing that although he deeply hated her, he loved her even more. As the woman struggled to break free, she accidentally dropped her sunglasses on the ground, and while she cautiously searched for them, the CEO noticed something was wrong and then realized that the woman could not see.